Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex topics, dig through the sources, and basically give you what you need to know fast.
Cutting right to the chase.
Exactly. Today we're looking at a series of, well, frankly, quite troubling airplane incidents from the first few months of 2025. Our goal here is to unpack these events, figure out what connects them, if anything, and understand what they tell us about aviation safety right now.
And looking at them together is key, I think. Individual incidents are tragic, absolutely, but the patterns or lack thereof across several incidents, that's where you often find the deeper insights.
For sure. So we'll go chronologically, January through March 2025. Got a fair bit to cover.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive in. So we start late January, January 29th. An absolutely terrible collision near Reagan National Airport in D.C.
Yeah, that one was particularly shocking. American Eagle flight, regional jet.
Flight 5342, yeah. Coming in to land just before 9 p.m. Eastern, and it collided midair with an Army Black Hawk helicopter.
Just unbelievable. And everyone on both aircraft lost.
Yeah. 4 crew, 60 passengers on the jet, and just a horrible detail. Many were young figure skaters heading home from a camp.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 3 military personnel on the Black Hawk, so that's, 67 people? Gone.
67 lives.
And it was pointed out this was the first fatal crash involving a scheduled U.S. passenger airline on U.S. soil since Colgan Air back in '09.
Right, that specific category, which, highlights how rare these major airline crashes have become, relatively speaking. But the risks across all types of aviation are still there.
So the investigation starts immediately. What did they find initially?
Well, one of the first things the NTSB flagged was the altitude. The helicopter was tracked at 300 feet.
300, and what's normal there?
Usually the ceiling for visual flight rules traffic that close to the airport is strictly 200 feet.
Huh.
It's designed specifically to keep that lower traffic clear of planes on approach.
So 100 feet higher than it should have been, potentially.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And the jet was logged descending through 375 feet, so very close proximity vertically where there shouldn't have been that conflict.
Wow. And the NTSB chair, Jennifer Homendy, she had that standard quote, right? About looking at the human, the machine, the environment.
Yeah, that is standard. It underlines that they don't just jump to conclusions. Was it pilot error? Equipment malfunction? Air traffic control? Weather? They look at absolutely everything. It's a methodical process.
President Trump at the time called it a dark and excruciating night. Captured the mood, certainly. For you listening, what stands out there is just how fast the NTSB mobilizes.
Oh, absolutely. The GO team is usually wheels up within hours. They have to be. Evidence degrades, memories fade. Their whole mission is to get the facts, understand the cause, and crucially, issue safety recommendations to prevent it happening again. It's not about blame.
Okay, so while that massive investigation was kicking off in D.C., just 2 days later, January 31st, Philadelphia, a completely different kind of tragedy.
Right, the medical transport jet, Learjet 55.
Operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, it crashed onto a street in northeast Philly, not long after takeoff at all.
Less than a minute, I think the report said.
Yeah. And again, devastating loss of life. All 6 on board the jet died. That was a child patient, her mother, a doctor, paramedic, 2 pilots.
And someone on the ground, too, wasn't there?
Yes, tragically. A 37-year-old man driving on that street was also killed. Just awful.
And there was that heartbreaking detail from the jet rescue spokesperson, Shy Gold.
What was that?
He mentioned the little girl, the patient. She'd just finished treatment for something life-threatening. His quote was, she fought quite a lot to survive, and unfortunately this tragedy on the way home. Just gut-wrenching.
Oh, that's terrible. And then for the investigation, a big problem surfaced pretty quickly, right?
A huge problem. The cockpit voice recorder, the CVR, one of the so-called black boxes, it didn't capture any audio from the flight.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. And worse, the initial NTSB findings suggested it likely hadn't even been working for several years.
Wow. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. The silence of that black box. That's almost a clue in itself, isn't it? Or rather, the lack of one is critical.
It's an investigator's nightmare, frankly. The CVR captures the pilot's conversations, alarms, engine sounds, and all the crucial audio cues in the final minutes or seconds. Without it, especially for a crash that happens so quickly after takeoff.
You're flying blind trying to figure out the why.
Pretty much. You still have the flight data recorder, hopefully, which tracks the plane's parameters. You have radar data, wreckage analysis, witness accounts. But that CVR audio often provides the direct human context. What were they seeing? What were they saying? It makes piecing together the sequence of events much, much harder. and the fact it wasn't working for potentially years. That raises serious questions about maintenance, oversight, and regulatory compliance.
Right. Okay, let's move into February. The incidents keep coming, unfortunately. February 6th, we head to Alaska.
Ah, yes, the Bering Air flight.
A Cessna Caravan. So, smaller plane, turboprop, 9 passengers, 1 pilot, 10 total. It went down while flying to Nome.
Remote area, rough terrain, always a challenge in Alaska.
Yeah, they found the wreckage about 34 miles southeast of Nome. Initially, they could only recover 3 bodies. The other 7 were believed to be inside the wreckage, inaccessible at first.
Just tragic.
Hmm.
And Senator Murkowski made a point about Alaska, didn't she?
She did. She said, when tragedy strikes, we're never far removed from the Alaskans directly impacted. But that also means we come together as a community to grieve and heal. Really speaks to how vital aviation is there and how interconnected those communities are.
And it's important to note the NTSB investigates these too. Same process, same rigor, whether it's a big jet in D.C. or a small plane in the Alaskan wilderness.
Right. The lessons learned apply everywhere.
Exactly. The principles of safe flight don't change with the size of the plane.
Okay, fast forward just 4 days, February 10th. Scottsdale, Arizona. And this one involves a name you might recognize.
The Vince Neil connection, yeah.
Yeah.
Motley Crue frontman.
His private jet, a Learjet 35A. Important to stress, he wasn't on board at the time. But the jet was landing, veered off the runway, and hit a parked Gulfstream G200.
Nasty collision.
Yeah. The pilot of the Learjet was killed. The co-pilot and 1 passenger were seriously injured.
And the NTSB preliminary report on this one, they had some really eyebrow-raising details about the landing gear.
Tell us about that.
Well, they had video surveillance and cell phone footage showing the plane on approach, and the rear left landing gear looked, well, the report used the word askew. Not right, basically.
Okay, so a potential mechanical issue right there.
But here's the kicker. The same flight crew had reported a landing issue back in June 2024, 8 months earlier.
The same crew on the same plane.
Seems so. And after that June incident, maintenance was done on the landing gear. And the mechanic's note from that repair said the gear took an excessive amount of grease to retract and extend properly.
Huh. Excessive amount of grease. That sounds specific.
It does. And we connect this to the bigger picture. You have a landing incident, a repair, where something felt off, maybe required unusual force or effort, hence the grease note. And then 8 months later, another landing incident involving the same gear, this time fatal, with video showing it looking askew.
So it really raises questions about whether the initial problem was truly fixed or just patched up. Was the root cause addressed?
Precisely. Did that excessive grease requirement signal a deeper problem, maybe a bent component or alignment issue that wasn't fully diagnosed or corrected back in June? It brings up critical questions about maintenance procedures, how recurring issues are tracked and addressed, and, how thoroughly those fixes are verified. It's a potential trail of breadcrumbs investigators will be looking at very closely.
Yeah, that detail really makes you think about the importance of not just the fix, but understanding why the fix was needed in the first place.
Wow.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Still in February 17th, Toronto Pearson International Airport. An incident with a dramatically different outcome.
Ah, the Delta flight. Yes, quite remarkable.
Delta Flight 4819, coming in from Minneapolis-St. Paul. It crash-landed. And not just crash-landed, it flipped upside down and caught fire. 80 people on board.
Sounds catastrophic.
You'd think so. But here's the incredible part. Every single person survived.
Amazing.
Yeah. Only 21 people needed treatment, and all for non-life-threatening injuries. There was a passenger, Pete Kukoff, who talked about it.
I remember seeing that.
He said, I just remember being fully sideways, seeing sparks and flames. We were just upside down, hanging from our seatbelts. But then he praised how orderly the evacuation was.
And that's fascinating, right? Because it's a testament to so many things working right, even when the initial event goes horribly wrong.
Like what?
Well, first, modern aircraft design. Crashworthiness, the structural integrity of the cabin, fuel tanks designed to resist rupture and fire. Then, safety features inside emergency lighting, clear exit paths, and crucially, the training.
It's a crew training.
True training, absolutely. Their ability to manage a crisis, initiate evacuation procedures calmly and effectively, but also passenger awareness. People knowing what to do, listening to instructions, getting out quickly. Even in clear weather, when something unexpected happens, all those layers of safety design, features, training, they all kicked in.
It really drives home why those safety briefings matter, doesn't it? You tune them out, but in that one moment.
Exactly. It shows that safety isn't just about preventing the crash, it's also about making it survivable if it happens. And this was a prime example of survivability engineering and procedures working perfectly. It suggests standards have evolved significantly.
Yeah, a stark contrast to some of the earlier incidents. Okay, just 2 days after that miracle in Toronto, February 19th, back to Arizona, Marana Regional Airport this time. Another mid-air collision.
Right, involving smaller planes again.
Two single-engine planes, a Lancair 360 MK-2 and a Cessna 172S, happened around 8:30 in the morning.
And the outcomes were very different for the two planes involved.
Drastically different. The Cessna, incredibly, landed uneventfully, everyone okay.
Wow.
But the Lancair, it impacted terrain near runway 3 and a post-impact fire ensued. The two people on board, a man and a woman, were killed.
Yeah, the airport superintendent called it unprecedented for them.
Hmm.
Meran is often a non-towered airport or operates differently than major hubs. It relies more on pilots using see and avoid principles.
So less direct air traffic control separating planes.
Often, yes. It puts more onus on the pilots themselves to maintain separation visually and via radio calls. Mid-air collisions are always complex, but the dynamics at smaller airports, the types of aircraft involved, how they hit, it can lead to vastly different survival outcomes, as we saw here. A real tragedy.
Okay, that brings us to March 1st. Newark Liberty International Airport. An incident that looked incredibly dramatic.
The FedEx bird strike.
That's the one. FedEx Flight 3609, a Boeing 767 cargo jet, took off, hit a bird, engine caught fire.
Big flames, yeah. Videos were everywhere.
Looked terrifying, but the plane landed safely back at Newark. All three people on board were completely fine.
Which is, honestly, what's supposed to happen in that situation.
Explain that. How can an engine be on fire and it's sort of okay?
Well, okay, it might be stretching it, but manageable, yes. Aviation expert John Cox pointed this out. Planes like the 767 are specifically designed and certified to fly safely and even take off and climb on just one engine.
Okay.
There are rigorous testing standards. If one engine fails, even catastrophically like catching fire after a bird ingestion, the other engine is powerful enough, the plane's systems are robust enough, and crucially, the pilots are trained extensively for exactly this scenario.
So the fire containment systems work. The pilots shut down the affected engine, fly on the remaining one, declare an emergency, and land.
Exactly. There are procedures for that, and pilots train for it, and it results in a safe landing, as Cox said. So here's where it gets really interesting. You have this huge visual drama flames pouring from an engine versus the quiet professional execution of procedures based on decades of engineering and training, ensuring everyone walks away.
It's a powerful image of the system working despite a failure. Still, when you see flames like that, does it make you think about the safety margins? Are bird strikes getting worse, or are the planes just that good?
That's a good question. Bird strikes are a persistent issue, maybe even growing in some areas with bird populations and quieter jets. But this incident primarily demonstrates the resilience built into the system. The engines are designed to withstand a certain level of bird ingestion, though obviously massive birds or flocks can exceed limits. The key takeaway here is that the aircraft's containment, the redundancy, and the pilot training worked exactly as intended to manage a serious but ultimately predictable type of emergency. It reinforces confidence, I think.
Okay. One last incident to cover in our timeline, March 29th, and this one shifts the focus dramatically from the air to the ground. Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
Ah, yes. The private jet into the house.
A single-engine jet, reported as privately owned, piloted by U.S. Bank Vice Chair Terry Dolan. It crashed directly into a home where two people lived.
Just horrifying for the resident.
Absolutely. Terry Dolan, the pilot, was the only one on the plane and did not survive. The medical examiner confirmed multiple blunt force injuries. And the house. It was just engulfed in flames almost instantly.
And the people in the house.
They escaped. Miraculously, it sounds like. One of them, Kenneth Tabachman, described it. Just hearing a big boom, lights out, seeing a flash, thinking, what the hell? He and his wife got out just in time.
Imagine that. Your home suddenly destroyed like that. It really underscores the impact these events can have far beyond the aircraft itself. It's not just about passenger and crew safety, it's about ground safety too.
And the investigation must be incredibly complex when it happens in a residential area like that.
It's extremely. You're dealing with wreckage mixed with household debris, fire damage, structural collapse, plus the obvious sensitivity needed when dealing with people whose home and lives have just been shattered.
Yeah.
It's a very different scene than a crash in an open field or even at an airport.
This deep dive really shows the sheer range, doesn't it? Commercial jets, military helicopters, medical flights, small private planes, cargo jets, impacting airports, remote areas, even suburban homes. So, wrapping this up, we've looked at a collision stemming from potential airspace procedural issues, a crash potentially linked to overlooked maintenance, another hampered by failed recording equipment. We saw incredible survival against the odds, the unique dangers of midair collisions, the managed emergency of a bird strike, and the devastating ground impact of another crash. What does this all mean for you listening? What's the takeaway from this snapshot of early 2025?
Well, I think the main thing is that aviation safety is this incredibly complex, constantly evolving system. These events, as tragic as they are individually, feed directly into that system. Every investigation, every NTSB recommendation, even understanding why a black box failed, it all aims to prevent recurrence.
So, it's a cycle of learning.
Absolutely. It highlights that ongoing tension between human performance, the reliability of machines, and unpredictable factors like birds or weather. It's never perfect, but the goal is always continuous improvement. And frankly, the system's overall safety record, given the millions of flights, shows that the learning process, while sometimes painful, is largely effective.
It really is remarkable when you think about it that way. So maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. Looking at these incidents, do they make you feel the system is more fragile than we think, relying on everything going perfectly? Or do they highlight its underlying resilience, its ability to cope, investigate, learn, and improve, even when things go terribly wrong? Something to ponder next time you look up. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the aviation incidents of early 2025.